So it is 7 o'clock at night on Easter Monday, and in about 12 hours, less than that, our builders are going to be here. They're actually going to arrive to start working on these rooms. This is my favourite bit, when professionals come in and stuff feels like it's really starting to happen. We've been working on these rooms since like start of February. It's now April. So it's been 2 or 3 months of just like chipping away at the work in here. And as you can see, there's a lot been done. A lot been done. If you watch all my other vlogs, you would have seen all the work that's gone in to getting these rooms to this state. So I think I left you at the end of the last clip just where we were tearing the ceiling down. I didn't have time to like check in at the end of the day. That was about a week ago. Had bank holiday weekend, done a few more bits which I'll show you and update you on. But we're now left with the empty shells. So this is the main bedroom, which will eventually be where we actually sleep at night. So it's back to full brick on every wall. The plaster did not survive. Fuck stripping wallpaper ever again, because there's no point, because you just take the plaster off anyway. And then obviously you saw the ceiling coming down. No more coving, no more ceiling, no nothing up there. You just see the insulation from above, where we had the roof and the loft room done last year. So a bit of insulation up there. New joists that were put in for the new floors up there, which I think we're going to have similar in here. Not sure yet. That'll all be decided tomorrow when the builders turn up and take a look and see what needs doing. Then over here, just brick again. And I'll take you through to the spare room to see where we're at with that, but very much the same. Just back to the studs, back to brick everywhere. So that means these rooms are ready for their makeover. They're ready for their glow up. And boy, does she need it. So I'm going to leave you at that, and I will check in over this week. The builders are coming in every day this week, hopefully, and then a few days the week after. And very, very soon, what you see now will be transformed. It will be a different place. Hopefully I'll come back when, new wiring is in, new floors are in, there's plasterboard on the walls, plasterboard on the ceiling. We're going to insulate these walls as well. Insulation is not something I know loads about, but in period houses, especially Victorian houses where it's just 2 layers of brick, you haven't got like the modern cavity wall which insulates your house for you and keeps your house warm. You kind of need to do your own insulation work in here. So we're going to have the external walls, this one and that one over there in the spare room with the windows on, they're external walls. Hopefully have those insulated, so that means that it'll be a bit warm in these rooms in the winter, because big Victorian rooms with big Victorian windows and drafty Victorian chimneys and floors and things do not keep the heat in very well. And of course Artemis has come in to see what's going on in the gaff. Hun, report. How are we feeling about the empty rooms? How are we feeling about the makeover? No fucks given. Actually, one update before I go. Something I didn't really vlog. I filmed it, so I'll put some footage in, but I didn't really vlog, is the staircase stripping that we did. Honestly, we did it over the bank holiday weekend. I don't really want to talk about it because it's so fucking horrible and exhausting. As you can see, it doesn't even look, it's not done. It's not finished, it's not done. I'm going to come back to it another day. I'm too traumatised to go near it again right now. Artemis is just following me around now. Hun, are you okay? So there was gloss paint all over this, which I'll insert a picture. Lots of gloss paint everywhere, and it was horrendous. And it took hours and hours and hours to strip it back to this state, which looks awful. And it is. The handrail is probably the best bit. So I managed to get a lot of gloss off the handrail, and that is the most important bit, because oh my god, I love it. She's just like getting in every shot. Girl, the handrail is definitely the best bit. This is the only bit that's going to be exposed wood that will need sanding back, and then I'm going to stain it. So I'm really glad this come up fairly clean. The light's not great because it is 7 o'clock at night. As you can see, there's lots of patches that still need sanding off and stripping. So that's the stairs update. I'm going to come back to this at a later date. Obviously, I don't want to make it look pretty right now, because getting this back to like a beautiful, presentable state is not worth it until all the mess in these rooms has commenced. So let me leave you with that. Let me leave you with these pretty ugly views. Not ugly. There's kind of a beautiful charm to them in some ways. But I'll leave you with this raggedy old dusty view and come back very soon when we've got progress and when I've got something better than this, hopefully, to show you. Okay, she's back. She's back in vision, back in the DIY dungarees as well, here with an update with what the builders have been up to. So, as I said last week, the builders were in, what days were they in? Wait, what day is it today? The builders were in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's it, because it was a bank holiday. So in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they've got us to this place, which is amazing. I know it still looks like a shell. I know it still looks like not a lot, but in renovation terms, in renovation years, this is huge progress. This is light years. As you can see, we have a wall back. So they've OSB'd. They were going to do plywood, but they've used OSB to pack that wall out. As you saw the Victorian studs before, they were all in a row like that, and they kind of had a little bit of wiggle in them. So a bit of OSB over the top keeps them solid, keeps them stable. It means that the wall is now a lot stronger, has a bit of tensile strength. And also, not that we're going to do this, but it means if you want to hang a shelf or like a really heavy picture in it, you can. It's gonna, the OSB is going to hold that so much better than like just plasterboard. So obviously that will be plasterboarded over the top, but that's the underneath layer that just gives it that strength. They've done that. They've done all new electrics, so you can probably see some wires on the floor because there's going to be a wardrobe there, so wires in that wardrobe, and you can't see over here because it's just builder's mess at the moment, but there are wires behind there that are going to go in the wardrobe in either corner there. There's going to be probably like a nice big shoe cupboard here, and over there an actual wardrobe in front of us. And then in the OSB wall here, I don't know if you can see, there's like switches and wires and plugs and things. That's going to be a wall light, sockets either side of the bed, switches for the bedside tables. And the best thing we've done is over on my side, this is my side of the room where I will be sleeping. You see the wire hanging out there for my wall light. The switch there will switch off both my wall light and the main light in the middle of the room, which is a godsend. So I don't have to get up out of bed if the big light's on and walk around the foot of the bed and then come all the way over to here to hit this switch. And speaking of lighting, we've got a whole new lighting circuit in. So lights in the centre of this room and in the spare room, which I'll show you in a minute. There's not much to talk about in terms of lighting because it's just a central light in the room. We're going to have a ceiling rose and want a really dramatic, like not traditional chandelier, but like dramatic brass, silly over the top light, because this room's got high ceilings. She can take it. I want something that's standout statement that makes this room say like, yeah, this is luxury. I've lived in squalor for 6 months. Give me a fucking chandelier, all right? So we'll have the main light in here and the wall lights either side of the bed. Then in the spare room, coming through the hallway, a little bit more changing here. So an OSB on this side of the wall as well. That's all boarded out, which is fab. And then we've got a new stud wall over here. So as you may remember, again, original Victorian stud work in here, some of which is behind these strips of OSB. But this stuff here was just shaking all over the shop. It was like rattling. It wasn't attached to anything at the top because where they'd done the loft above, they'd had to cut them off to like lower the joists and stuff up there for the flooring. So they've done a great job there. Really, really happy that we've got that in, and the walls are back. Oh, and I didn't even talk about the ceilings. So partly plasterboarded in here. So this will be finished this week. And we, obviously you saw next door, the ceiling is plasterboarded as well. So let's go back in there. The ceiling in here is plasterboarded. This means that we can have fresh new ceiling, fresh new walls, and we can put some fresh new coving in, but obviously in a Victorian style. She's sympathetic. I'm never going to go and put in like some plain boring polystyrene coving. Nothing wrong with polystyrene coving. I might do it next door actually, but in a more ornate style that's Victorian-y and fits in, you know. So yeah, that's a future plan with the coving, but obviously we've got a long way to go till then. These walls need to be plastered first before we can even think about getting coving in. But I want to get that in quite quick because I want to get to the painting phase quickly. I want to get this room feeling like an actual room again, which takes us to what we're doing today. So as you can see, I'm in DIY gear. It's the weekend between the builders coming. They come back on Monday. So what are we doing today? Well, today's task is to put a solution, which is called, let me grab it actually. I've never heard of this before, called SBR. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she is. Something that you use. Wait, let me read it. Improves bonding and flexibility, aids chemical water resistance. Blah, blah, blah. It's basically a sort of like bonding sealer that you put over the brickwork, and it stops any dust or crumbly mortar. As you can see, the walls are very dusty and crumbly. They're not, you know, you don't want to just go stick plasterboard on top of that. So that is like, it's like a sealer, seals it in, stops all the dust going anywhere. You just slop it on with a roller, which is what I'm going to spend my time doing for the next couple of hours. And then that means that the builders can like come in next week and just dot and dab plasterboard over the top of that. So they haven't got to spend their time doing that. I want to save them the time with the little easy jobs I can do myself that aren't a hardship, that I have time for, that don't require a professional skill. You don't need a professional skill to roll this slop on the walls. So I'm going to slop it on myself. Neil's going to hopefully join me. I'm going to get that done today. And then Then I'm going to do something which I've been wanting to do for ages, which is, well, she's leaning up against the wall in here. Let me actually turn her around. So today I'm actually going to tackle cleaning up the cast iron fireplace we got, well, in February, months ago. It's now like the end of April. She's mainly just dusty. She mainly just needs a good scrub. There is a line of like crusty old paint here. You can see where it was clearly like in someone's wall and painted the colour of the wall, which I'm just going to put a little bit of like easy light paint stripper on to scrape off any mucky bits on here. This is all just like wallpaper that fell from when I did wallpaper stripping. So mainly she just needs a good clean up. And as you can see, yeah, I've still got some white paint around all the edges here. So I'm just going to basically get her cleaned up, spend an hour or so getting her cleaned up to scratch. The rooms aren't done. There's nowhere for her to go yet. But while I've got the time, I just want to get ahead on this job. So when it comes, once the plasterboard's done, once the plastering's done, she can be fitted and then we can paint, which is stunning. So thank you for watching. Let's crack on with the jobs today. So first stop, SBR. Second stop, beautiful fireplace restoration. Cannot wait to show you the before and after of this. So keep watching. Okay, so both rooms we've applied the SBR. You see the bricks a bit darker, lots of spillages on the floor, and mostly lots of like crumbs of plaster that came off the wall. Obviously, as you're rolling onto it, any loose bits are just flaking off. So we're going to do a big sweep up. But that took us about, I don't know, an hour. I had to go out halfway through to get a new bottle of the SBR because we like just ran out. So we could have just done like a bottle and a quarter. So we've got nearly a whole bottle left of SBR now. We're probably never going to use. Yeah, she got crummy in here, as you can see. Lots of sweeping to do. Little sheen on them. It's just going to keep it all sealed in and tidy and allow the dot and dab plasterboard to bond a bit better to it. Yeah, quick, easy job. Let's clear up. We're going to have some lunch. Greg's has arrived again. What have we got today? 2 yum-yums and some bakes. Oh, sausage roll. Neil's on the hangover feast. Oh yeah. Some greasy bakes, that's what we need. And of course, lit drinks. Oh, who's Jason? Who's Jason? So it's a day after the fireplace restoration. Back to work, it's a Monday. And nothing beats a week of DIY. Then Monday morning, the builder's coming back in and taking up the whole floor in the bedroom. Huge progress. They've only been here like an hour or two maybe, and they've already got like all the floorboards up in here. And you can see, I'll turn the camera around in a minute, but you can see all the like original joists, the pipe work, the lard and plaster ceiling below, the hearth. It's looking all right actually. It's all in good nick. They're doing this so they can level the floors. So these floorboards, the original floorboards, are really wonky. I'm standing on just a makeshift new floorboard that's going across all the joists. The original floorboards were super janky, like they were high at the ends and went down the middle. They've taken them up so they can repair that problem. So they're going to pack out or somehow level all these joists, which are all in good nick. They're all fine. Maybe just a little bit wobbly, so they need a little bit of support. So they're going to pack those out or do whatever they need to do and then pop new floorboards on top. So they think they might be able to get that done today, which would be amazing. And it is only 10 past 10 in the morning. So yeah, you can see the original lath and plaster. That's the lounge ceiling below. And there's some weird gaps. So this is the hallway. So you can see there's like a gap down there. Can I zoom in? And that separates the lounge ceiling from like the hallway ceiling, which is really interesting. So that goes between one of the original lard and plaster walls, like between the studs. So that's a stud, I believe, that one of the lounge walls is attached to, and there, and there, and there, and there. So it's amazing to see the structure like that. And then the rest of the room, yeah, you can see this is like the more modern heating that's going in to the radiator pipes there, which is fab. We can see what's going on with those. They all look fine. And yeah, the rest of the floor, the rest of the joists, they're all right. No rotting, no like absolutely snapped in half pieces. They've ripped all the nails out, which was fun. And you've got these, can't remember what these are called, but these little original cross-shaped supports that just give the joists a bit of tensile strength, a bit of structure and support. And you've got those across. We had those in the loft as well. So I'm going to leave it there, see where the builders get to today. But I'm really happy that it's all come up. And there's no big surprises. And actually, interestingly, remember the gas pipe that was in the wall here? You can see the gap there. Well, it's like, you know, there's nothing on the end of it now. And it goes all the way under here, under my feet, to somewhere where it kind of goes off into this sort of shape, and then out into this wall here. No idea where that goes, but it's not doing anything, so leave it as is. Anyway, that's all for now. Leave the builders to it. I'll get out their way, let them crack on, hopefully come back in a bit and we'll have floors. All the best. Okay, builders are done for today, and I'm going to try and walk. Oh no, this is only going to end in tears. I cannot put a foot through a ceiling. I cannot do it. This is what they've done today. So they've levelled out the existing joists by sistering some new joists, new wooden supports to the floorboards to them. My life is in my hands. But yeah, they've taken out. Oh, let me get back on dry land. Whew. Breathe. They've taken out the hearth that was down here as well. And you can see just how much higher the new supports are versus like how much lower the old joists were. So that's like a whole finger's worth of depth. Meanwhile, I can't really show you from here, but the one at the other end, let me zoom in, is almost like level with what was there before. You can sort of see the light coloured one, the sort of dusty dark coloured joist, they're almost level. That's how like flat that side was, but then how uneven this side was. You just see it gradually, the new supports get higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher until they're like, yeah, so much higher at these ends. So a job very much that needed doing. So tomorrow they're going to come in and put floorboards in, not these, just an old bit of OSB they've used. They're going to come and put floorboards in, and then the floors will be done. Then they can crack on with plasterboarding the walls here, all around here. Right, so I'm going to try and worm my way out of the bedroom now. But yeah, feeling very happy with the progress today. This is the thing, builders can just come in and crack on, no fuss. This is all a day's work for them. Can you imagine the years it would take me to do this kind of stuff? This is why when people are like, why don't you DIY that? You could do that yourself, you could do it yourself. I'm like, I haven't got the energy, I haven't got the brain power to do it myself, nor have I got the time.
this is a throw money at the problem thing, and it is worth throwing money at this problem because level floors, you don't want to fuck those up. You want someone to do them properly. So I'm very happy with what they've done in there today. And this room is a bit of a workshop, and the floorboards in this room are absolutely fine. They've replaced a few, or they're going to replace a few to make sure they're all just like solid and sturdy, but they're old Victorian floorboards, but we're not in a wonky room here, so there's no need to pull them up and repair stuff that doesn't need repairing. So we're not wasting money on work that doesn't need doing. Like these floors, we need them as is, and they're all going to be carpeted anyway, so you're not going to see them. I'm not restoring them. Don't get any ideas in your head about me doing any like floor sanding. It's not happening, especially not in a bedroom. I think carpet is the one for a bedroom personally. I love wood like floors where they look in bedrooms, in fancy people's bedrooms, but really there's a fantasy, and I want a nice soft thing underfoot, because when I wake up in the morning, the sensory needs a sensorying in. I don't want to be treading on cold wood in the winter. I'm cold enough all the time as it is. Anyway, let me leave you there for today. This is amazing progress. Although it looks a wreck, to me it's amazing progress. I know what slow progress is, and I know what quick progress is when it comes to renovations, and this to me is quick progress. The fact we'll have new floors in 2 days, banging, super happy. So I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have some floorboards back in here. Okay, so welcome back. A couple of days has passed. We're back up in the bedrooms, and we're looking very different today. The builders have been in for, well, since Monday. It's now Wednesday. Also, it's scorching hot. It's that week in April, end of April, where it's like 25, 27 degrees. So they have done a good job of getting stuff done in this heat. Although it's quite cool in here. Victorian houses tend to be good at keeping the heat out. And like staying quite cool inside in the summer, unless you're on the top floor in the loft where I'm sleeping at the moment, where the heat rises and it gets toasty and roasty and very, very warm. So sweating in bed last night, but this room feels very cool. So last time I left you, I think I was walking on like just the exposed joists on the floor, which obviously now our cupboard, we have solid new floorboards, and oh my God, it's like the most niche like thing to enjoy. But when you get new floorboards in and you feel how like sturdy they are compared to what was here before, like no creaking, no wobbling, no every time you get out of bed, like they're just rock solid. So I'm super happy with that, very, very happy. Although we've got, because of the new floorboards, it means we've got a little slight step into the room. Got to find the right sort of carpet threshold. See, these floorboards in here are rock solid and level, and out here the floorboards are fine, but they're slightly off level, so you kind of step a little bit down. It's a little bit wonky, but not the end of the world. The floorboards out there are super sturdy, so not worth pulling all those up to deal with like an inch step. And then of course, as you can see around me, we have plasterboard on the walls, which they've been doing today. So this wall has completely been boarded out. The ceiling was done sort of end of last week. So we've got a whole wall of board, which is amazing. This is going to be the wall behind our bed, the head of the bed. So we'll be wallpapering that at a later date, which is going to be fun, given last time I wallpapered nearly ended my relationship. So I'll either be doing this one by myself or very, very slowly, but we've learned a lot, and I think it will be fine. They haven't done anything on the upper fireplace wall. I think they'll be back tomorrow to do that. So haven't touched that, but cleverly on this wall, I don't know how to show you this. So we wanted these walls insulated, the external walls, this one and the one in the spare room with the window as well. In modern cavity walls, you have like that gap in the middle between the two levels of bricks, which you either insulate or it just keeps the warm air in. We haven't got that here. We've just got like 2 layers of brick, which are right on top of each other. So there's no insulation on those outside walls. So you get this plasterboard, I don't know if you can see that, that comes with insulation attached. So we've got now insulated front walls. Can you see that up close? You can see the insulation here, which is attached to the back of the plasterboard. So that is just going to make this room and this whole house a little bit toastier and a little bit warmer, especially in the winter months because it gets bloody cold in here. I often get into bed in here in the winter in full length sleeve, full trouser, fleece pyjamas with fleecy socks on, and I put my dressing gown over the top with the hood up, and then I get into bed under my duvet. I'm such a cold person. I run really cold. So I love the summer. Obviously today I'm having like the best time of my life. When it's 25 degrees out, that's all I want every day of the year. So I like it warm, so the insulation is going to make this much more pleasant and enjoyable room to be in the winter especially. I think that's all to update you on today. We're just big progress. The fact that we've got floors, we've got walls, we've got ceiling, like we nearly have a room back. So a few more days, a bit more plasterboard in, and then we should be good in here. I'll see you in a couple of days when this space is hopefully transformed. Well, it has been a minute. I can't remember the last video I did in these rooms because it's been what feels like years, but it's only been a few weeks. And as you can see, we're in a very different place now to where we were a couple of weeks ago. Remember, we were just standing here and there were no floors and the walls were like exposed bricks and the ceiling was open. But now we have like actual walls and actual enclosed room. So you can see all the plasterboarding has been done. It took a while because there was other work to do alongside the plasterboarding, including the floors, the wiring, etc, etc. But the main bedroom, this room, is now fully plasterboarded, ready for plastering, as is the hallway. So no more just like janky exposed hallway space here. We have ceilings, yay! We have also under here, this has been open for like the longest time since we did the loft, but now it's like actually filled in again, which is lovely. And these walls too. So finally be able to get some plaster on these bloody walls and not live in like a shanty old Victorian shack. And now in the spare room, and you can see this is also plasterboarded. We're all done. Ceilings, walls, the fireplaces are covered. Oh, there's a plasterer at the door. Get some plastering quotes. And the bell has literally just gone. What timing? So let's see what he has to say, because I want to get this place plastered ASAP. Okay, I was expecting plasterer, but it was a Vinted delivery. Plasterer is on his way, but it was not that. Actually, while I'm downstairs with you, I'll show you the mess that is our life at the moment, because we've just got like a stack of all the things ready to go in the bedrooms. So like the bed, the doors, all the doors, got handles, we've got radiator valves, we've got spindles for the stairs. That's another story. I've got Atlas on the desk. Say hi, sir. Why are you going all shy? Mwah, blessings. So the rest of the house is a bit of a storage facility at the moment, stuff like that. And then in the hallway, I've got my nephew's birthday present. That's not for me. Radiators, 2 radiators here that need to go upstairs eventually. But yeah, we've just been buying stuff, and obviously we can't store it in the bedrooms. We have to keep them clear so plastering can be done. So hallway it is, office it is, all plasterboarded. We've also got a door frame put on the spare room, which is fantastic. We're having someone come back to do the door frame for here, because it's a bit of a weird size, because it's like the original Victorian studs plus some like OSB either side to make them stronger, so the makes an odd width. So someone's got to come and do a custom door frame for that. And they're going to come back, actually, when they come back to do the door frame, the carpenter that we use all the time, he's going to come and replace all these spindles, because you remember the stair stripping, how fucking awful that was. We gave up and decided it was not worth it for the price it is to replace these spindles. Are like, I'm going to say 2-3 quid each. So we're just going to spend the money on getting them replaced and refitted. So I've got something easy to paint rather than giving up my life stripping bits of gloss paint off of every little nook, cranny, crevice of those fucking hideous spindles. It's just not worth it, okay? I'm not doing it. But yes, other news, we also, don't know how well these are going to show up, we have new windows. So we had new windows fitted last week. This is black aluminium, so on the back of the house all of our windows are black, like our back doors are black. It's really dirty, but you can see the window to our loo, and can you see our back doors? You can see our kitchen window there slightly. Ignore the mess outside. But yes, we have black aluminium on the back of the house everywhere, so we've got that on the back of the house to match. The aluminium is slightly more expensive, but it just looks so good in the black. And then on the front, because the rest of the street have got white UPVC, we didn't want to do anything fancy, and also it's so expensive to do something fancy. Sash windows, do you know how expensive sash windows are? I don't want to see a single comment being like, you should have got sliding sash windows, that would be more in keeping with them, blah, 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 blah. They are so expensive. I've got sash window taste, but I do not have sash window money. So here we are, we have lovely new fresh white UPVC windows, and they're fab. They're really, really great. They're really smart, simple, brand new, gorgeous. I feel like for the first time in a long time, we can really see out these windows properly because they were so dirty, and then we had like curtains and stuff over the top. You just really couldn't see out them. So I'm really happy with how those are looking. Also, it's my birthday like 2 days ago, and you know you've reached 36 when brand new windows one, are what you're spending all your savings on, and two, bring you so much joy. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to wait for the plasterers to visit. We've got one coming today, one coming tomorrow to quote. Hopefully they'll be starting on Monday, and then by like Wednesday, Thursday, these rooms will no longer look like this. They'll be plastered. They'll be ready. Well, they'll be drying, and then they'll be ready for painting. So anyway, let's leave it there for today. Just drink these views in. Drink in. Wow, what a view to drink in. And get ready for these to be plastered very, very soon. Hopefully next time I come back, I'll have something to show you in the way of smooth walls, not plasterboard. See you in a bit.
What do you see behind me? We're plastered. We've got plaster on the walls, girlies.